This is the AOC Sports High School Football Preview Show.
Another week of Friday Night Rivals, our AOC pregame show here. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, as we get ready for our matchup tonight. Our first trip to the Hill.
Yeah.
Always wanted they got fireworks and stuff there.
That's what I understand.
My new neighbor just moved into the area, went to a Spanish Fort game, and so they got fireworks and everything there. I said, yeah, it's a big production on the Hill.
It's mostly what's on the field. That's the production that people come to see. And
No.
they've traditionally been very good.
No doubt. They will take on their big rival in Daphne tonight, a non-region matchup between these two teams. And going back to the game we had last week, UMS and Viger. And we'll start on the Viger side of things. They've had trouble scoring throughout the year. Coach Cook talked about that. The one thing I do think that they really have going for them, though, is like that offense doesn't have to move that much, because I don't see anybody scoring a lot of points on them this year. So they get a little offense going.
Yeah.
Now they can win some games, 14-10 or 14-7.
They pretty much neutralized UMS right. They
Yep.
couldn't do much against them at all. Now you had the 100-yard rusher, but for the most part, that young man's name,
Blaylock, yeah.
Blaylock, he got his 125, but
But
he
it was
got
good
it in
to
about
grind 'em out.
25 carries.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing came easy. That defense was great, and they played hard, and they were big. You were on the field, so you had a better.
Sure was.
They were a good team. Heather Healy.
Yeah, they were, I have to say, the most complete, most solid defense that I've seen, I think, in the first 5 weeks that we've covered, all the teams here in the area. What really surprised me was, well, not really surprised, but every single play, they were, solid, focused, ready to go, no matter what, and was so conceptualized, best defense I've seen.
Yeah.
And they got Corey Barnes, they got the big Vigers, got the big running back, and we saw the young QB, he can throw it some.
I know he
so,
can.
as the season goes on, you got to think they're going to make some improvements on that side of the ball, and they can win some slugfest for sure.
What a good young coach they've got too.
Yep.
That was very impressive. We saw that team, and they were buttoned up, and they were ready to play hard. They just lacking a little bit of consistency on offense.
27 years old.
Yeah,
27.
and a couple of UMS assistant coaches told us on the field before the game how impressed they were looking at how he had them dialed in and those things. And when you and I finished talking to him on the field before the game, we walked up and we said, boy, the moment's not too big.
Yeah.
Not too big for him at 27. That's a young at Viger, at your alma mater. Where you know how big a deal that is. And then the UMS side of things, how many games like that have we seen UMS win? Playoffs, regular season games where it's a one-score game and you think, wow, how did they come out of there with the win? And that's just what UMS has always done under Terry Curtis.
And Cole Blaylock, we knew about the growth that I saw in Joe Lott from one year to the next. Incredible.
Professed man crush during the game.
There you go.
Guilty as charged.
I'm telling you, the kid plays so hard. He's where he needs to be. He encourages his own team. He's even he was encouraging Viger. He's lifting kids off the.
Yep.
He loves playing football, but man, he's got speed and he's got size. He's going to be a very attractive recruit.
But when you said man crush over the air, it was more than 2 times. I heard it over the air and I was going, okay, he means it, but he is the real deal. And you do see that sportsmanship.
Yeah.
And when you see it for both teams, it's a good sight to see.
Yeah.
And we probably didn't give enough credit. Was Fan Kingston, the freshman, comes in and hits the 36-yard field goal to be the difference in the game.
He won the game.
Yeah, soccer player. And they had another kicker miss the short field goal in the first half. Terry Curtis, yanks the kicker out of there, puts Fan in there, and the young man, I saw a quote from Cole Blaylock after the game. He said, I want to vote. Blaylock was one of the nominees for player of the games, and Cole said, I want to vote for Fan. He's the one who should be the player of the game. But what a moment for that young man.
A great moment for him. Great crowd, great turnout, great atmosphere.
Yep.
We've seen that more than a time or two so far this year.
Yeah, we've seen that atmosphere a lot in the game we have coming up here tonight as well. Spanish Fort and Daphne playing in Spanish Fort tonight, and a big matchup again. These are two rivals. Daphne in 7A. Daphne's run off 3 in a row since they had their first 2 weeks that they lost those games, and so now they've got things going a little bit on the other side. You got a Spanish Fort team that, they come in 2-3. The 3 teams they've lost to, none of those teams have lost yet. They're all undefeated. And they were in what Coach Smith said, felt like a late round playoff game with Theodore last week. So I think I think we got a typical Spanish Fort Daphne game coming our way tonight.
Yeah, I think, and you know, Theodore makes you feel like you're in a late round playoff game if you play him in July. You know, they just have that feel to them. They know what they're doing. They know who they are. They're always very physical. It's never an easy go.
I think Coach Smith will agree with the coach that I talked to before the game last week, mentioning that Theodore has been known to knock body parts into the dirt. Like, Coach Smith will agree. He says what he said. He said they're physical. They are a physical team now.
Oh, so, we like that.
Hopefully we get a chance to see Theodore later on in the season here on Friday Night Rivals. But we don't want to look past this game. We are in week 6 of the Friday Night Rivals game here. Tonight we're at Alabama Orthopedic Clinic for our pregame show. When we come back, we will talk with Kenny King and the Daphne Trojans as we get ready for the matchup tonight between Spanish Fort and Daphne right here on Friday Night Rivals. Friday Night Rivals tonight. We are in Spanish Fort, the Daphne Trojans. It's got to be the shortest road trip. Like, it's got to be like it's
4 miles maybe.
Yeah, it's got to be
3.8.
A super short road trip from Daphne High School, just across, come up Lawson Road there and across I-10, and you are there in Spanish Fort. Kenny King, head coach of the Daphne Trojans, and we've got Nick Clark, running back for the Daphne Trojans here as well, who's been having a big season, had a big week last week in their homecoming victory. We saw y'all in week 1, Coach, and we were talking just with Coach Chase before we started taping about just the tough schedule everybody plays, and you included, but now run off 3 in a row, kind of running off this young man behind you, like kind of moving in that good direction heading into the big game tonight.
Absolutely. You know, just going in, you see the schedule, and you telling our guys that, hey, we just got to make sure we're prepared and continue to work for that. And like I say, we started off 0-2, and the guys continued believing in what we was telling them to do, and they kept working and come in and day out, just coming to work. So ended up winning 3 straight, and we're starting to see some success.
What's been the difference in the 3 wins, and what kind of a role has Nick played?
You know, Nick is a great player for us, man. You know, we kind of, you know, get on his shoulders, and I mean, he take us. I call it, you know, he take us when we need to get somewhere. We make sure we put the ball in his hands. You know, he's a great kid. I've been knowing him since he's a youngin'. Of course, I played with his uncle Jeremy, and it's just been just great knowing the family and seeing him grow up to become the man he is now.
You know, it's something I hadn't really thought of. Of course, you being from Daphne now, you're to the point where you're starting to probably have teammates that are having kids who are now in the program, or cousins and uncles, those type of things. That's a really cool part of the heritage.
It's cool. It's funny how they kind of act like their parents, you know. It's pretty cool. But you kind of know, you know, what makes them go, what, you know, how you can push them, how you can get the best out of them, being from the community. But man, it's been great being there at Daphne and coaching young guys like Nick Clark.
It's got to be great when you have a coach and teammates who are counting on you and saying, "Hey, we know we're going to win tonight. It's got to come through you." That's got to be a great feeling each week.
Yes, sir, it is. But it couldn't start without my O-line, with all they do and what they do at practice and what they go through. So it really started with them.
You are friends with a number of Spanish Fort players. You know them well. You played with them back in the day in park ball, I guess?
Yes, sir.
Talk about why the rivalry is how. What are people going to see when they watch their TV tonight? They're going to see more than just a football game.
It might be a little everything somewhere, but really just a competitive game. All love at the end. It really just depends on how everybody take it.
So as one of the leaders of the team, when Coach King said you had the 0-2 start, lost to 2, lost a tough game up in Montgomery, lost a game to an undefeated Saraland team, but like he was saying, everybody still bought in. No fractures, saying, hey, it's a long season. We know we just got to now get ready for week 3. Now you've won 3 in a row. Talk about that, just how your team was able to stay committed, stay focused to get it back to where you wanted to be now heading into week 6.
It really depends on how everybody takes it. But if you see somebody down, you pick their head up and let them ride with you, because that's how it has to go.
And
I like it.
Yeah, and you got to have, you know, the coaches can say all that, but your leaders in the locker room, they they got to carry that message through when times get a little tough, right?
Yes, and then, like I say, starting 0-2 times is tough, and the guys continued working, man, and they believed in what we was trying to get accomplished. And like I said, they came in and work. And leaders like Nick Clark, you know, we got several leaders on the team, Stacey Boykins, Stephon Blackshear, quarterback Gabe Reynolds, Jenna Purdue, guys that come in and, you know, we don't have to get them up every day. They get up themselves. I'm probably a little hoarse because probably
that might have been yelling at Bayway traffic too, trying to get here tonight.
I'll tell you. But again, man, they get up. They know the expectations when they get into the building, from the weight room to meetings. They know the expectation, and they make sure they come in and get it accomplished.
Kind of see a little bit mirror images in the game we're going to see tonight with what you're going to see in Spanish Fort, a team that likes to run the football, play really good defense, kind of like the Daphne Trojans like to do. I mean, I think there's some similarities on how each of these teams approach the game.
Man, watching Spanish Fort, man, they do a great job, man. They play hard. The kids playing hard. They're competitive, and they getting after it. And you know, I've known Chase, and Chase has done a great job over there. And man, you know, that's going to be a tough team. It's going to be a tough matchup tonight. So, man, we're excited about the opportunity to go to the Hill and compete. And like I say, it's the rivalry. It's Daphne versus Spanish Fort, so it's going to be an exciting game.
That's why it's the game of the week. That's why it's Friday Night Rivals.
You were a young boy. That game was on ESPN.
Yeah, long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great rival. We do it almost every year, and we're doing it tonight. We cannot wait. All right, thank you, Coach. Thank you, Nick. Be safe out there tonight. We'll see you both on the field before the game. Coming up, we'll hear the Spanish Fort side of things as we get ready for our matchup tonight. Big rivalry on the Eastern Shore, Daphne and Spanish Fort. Getting ready for our Friday Night Rivals here on UTV 44. Jim Cox and Dan Brennan, the Daphne Trojans taking on the Spanish Fort Toros. We're coming to the Hill tonight. Again, one of the most electric atmospheres to see a high school football game. Chase Smith, the head coach, Braden Walker, the quarterback of the Toros, here with us. And Coach, you look at the schedule you've had so far, region play, big games, challenges, and then here you got the big rival now when you're quote-unquote non-region week. It's just high school football down here on the Gulf Coast, right?
Yeah,
that's what it is.
That's it. We wouldn't have it any other way, though. We're excited, and the kids are excited. Huge rivalry game. Really always a really good game, really competitive, so looking forward to it.
You know, we've talked about this with coaches in the past. Like, it really is great to work in a place, live in a place where it does matter so much, because we're almost numb to it, how big it is here compared to other parts of the country, even other parts of the state. Like, it is great to be at a place where it does matter so much.
Oh yeah, well, it just comes down to support. I mean, the support of the administration, the city, I can't say enough about that, and the parents, and it's a commitment. We all know it's a huge commitment, and understanding that and that resonates in the support you're talking about is what you got to have to be successful.
Love your team. Your team's got a lot of fight. Your team's got skill as well. What did you find out about your team last week against a very physical Theodore team that you actually got the lead on, weren't able to hold on to it, but you played them toe to toe? That's a big physical team.
Yeah, and I think, you know, first of all, I told the team how good of a team they are and how proud I am of them, and when we don't lose, we learn, you know, and so there's been a lot of learning in these losses, the 3 losses by three really great teams.
Sure.
And I saw a team that, you know, yes, they saw the things that just in a close game like that, it comes down to 5 plays. And we saw that we didn't have those 5 plays, and I saw a team that was ready to get back to work, to be prepared to get in that position again and win those 5 plays and win them for each other and win them for their city and the school. So, you know, just a lot of learning lessons and getting through some adversity there, but couldn't be prouder of the team. And we've got a really good football team.
No question about it. And you know, it's not always where you're at in the end of September and October. It's kind of where you're at the end of October, moving into November, and then maybe the first week of December.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about. Braden Walker, the quarterback of the Toros, here with us. Last time we had Spanish Fort on, Jake Godfrey was sitting in that seat there, and I know you had him in the backfield, seen him catch some more passes now. I mean, we love that young man for the past few years. He's got to be a great teammate to have on that side of the ball with you, huh?
Oh yeah, great asset to have. I like him in the backfield a lot, but it's always a joy to throw to him. So you just got to put the ball in his hands.
Coach was talking about just learning. Kind of talk about your learning progression now as you're kind of moving through the halfway point of the season. And I know he's had a lot of confidence in you since the start of the year. Just kind of talk about your maturation process you're going through.
So I mean, I'm just trying to get more comfortable back there. You know, it's my first year as a starter, and I'm just trying to just get more comfortable, have more confidence, and just trying to put the ball in the receiver's hands and let him make plays.
You know, you get through this schedule you've gotten through so far, it's not going to get much harder than all of that, really. So you've kind of weathered any kind of a storm in terms of your ability and your confidence. And we've seen the flashes too. Like Jim and I will look at each other after a play you make, like, you can throw the ball. And so it just takes that, it means a lot at the position, obviously. Not just for you, but as the team is all looking at you.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. We've played some good competition, some good physical teams, and I mean, we got to win some games now. It's time to buckle down and win some games.
And that's not going to change here, but it's what a fun rivalry, right? I mean, I mean, those kids in the Daphne side, you've probably known most of them.
Oh yeah, I grew up with most of them.
Yeah,
played them all in youth league. It's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun.
And this is high school football, the big rivalry game, right? I mean, this is why I know do it for championships and everything else too. But like the rivalry games, I mean, these are the ones. These young men on both sides remember their whole life.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. And you know, we do both. I mean, we have a saying, and you know, we look at it one way, and we focus on us, and we fix our corrections, and then every week it starts off as a faceless opponent. You know, and then as the week progresses, you see who you're playing, and in a rivalry game it gets a little bit more, but it's going to be a lot of fun, great environment, and just really exciting football game.
You know, one thing that we've, with each Toro coach that has sat in that seat over the years, one thing they've talked about is those kids, your kids, they don't mind being coached hard. Like they don't mind being coached hard to get better, to achieve what they want to achieve. And you don't always have those kids who are always up for really being coached hard when they want to be coached hard.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and we've talked about this. Is I appreciate them with all the things that they have, you know, in this day and age, and all the distractions and all the things they could be doing. That they come and they let us work them as hard as we do, and the commitment and the sacrifice like we talked about earlier. We just really appreciate that as coaches, you know, and it resonates. It's still that mindset, that blue collar, that grit. And let's get our hard hat and let's punch in and go to work.
Yeah, we've seen it. Absolutely seen it, and you can feel it.
Yep, a lot of football left to be played in this season. We're excited for this one here tonight. Heather's going to be right here. She's going to talk to the two players tonight. She's got some fun questions for them. Our Wendy's Giant of the Week, and then we get you ready for the kickoff tonight between Spanish Fort and Daphne, right here on Friday Night Rivals.
Welcome back to the high school football preview show, everybody. Heather Healy here. This is the best segment before we go to Jim and Dan in the press box. Before we get into all the fun, let's go to our Wendy's Giant of the Week, and a huge congratulations to Travian Glover, a senior point guard and wide receiver from Theodore High School, is this week's Wendy's Giant of the Week. Do you want to be this week's Wendy's Giant of the Week? If you're a junior or a senior who plays on the football team at any of the high schools in our Alabama viewing area, guess what? You can win. Log on to utv44.com and click on the contest page to be entered for a Wendy's Giant of the Week prize pack. Of course, rules and regulations do apply. All right, big rivalry tonight, Spanish Fort, Daphne. I have got Braden Walker here. And Braden, you said at the very beginning with Jim and Dan that this is your first year as a starter. So talk on your responsibility as a starter as you go into this rivalry.
Yes, ma'am. I just need to trust in my team and trust in these coaches, and then go out there and play a good game. And it'll be a fun game, big rivalry, and looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to the fireworks. That's what I'm looking forward to. All right, Nick, as you go onto the field on Friday night, what does this rivalry mean to you?
It means a lot.
Okay.
It's like, it's just a lot of players that and talent really on the field at once at a time, and I like to go at it before everybody and go where they need to go.
A lot of pride for both teams. Play safe, play fair. I'm going to remind you that before we sign off here. All right, we're going to get into the fun part of this segment. Are we ready for the fun questions?
Yeah, man.
The hardest questions you'll be ever asked. You ready? All right, since we are in the fall season, it started on Thursday. Your favorite fair food?
Funnel cake.
Funnel cake,
Gotta
okay.
go funnel cake.
Powdered sugar?
Yeah.
All right, what about yours?
I want to say popcorn then.
Popcorn, okay. The kettle corn?
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's the best part. Okay, Texas girl. Have you ever gone to the Texas State Fair?
I've not.
Okay, oh, it's the best one. Have you ever gone? Okay, you got to go down and do it. Okay, do you have a nickname that people call you on the team?
B-Walk.
B-Walk, okay.
4 or 5 get live.
I like that one a lot. All right, guys, if you could pick a TV show, any TV show for it to be your life, what would it be? Go ahead.
SpongeBob. You know what SpongeBob.
Would you live in the pineapple?
I would.
You would. Okay, that's what you would do. Krusty Krab?
Yeah, I would do Krusty Krab. I would.
All that stuff. I like that. What about yours?
Friends.
Yes, that is high five on that one. That's my favorite show of all time. Favorite character on Friends?
Ross.
Yes. Okay. Yes, you and I are on the same wavelength. Okay, guys, if you could eat any food in one setting, which could you eat a huge ice cream tub in one setting, potato chips, what would it be? Go ahead.
Bag of Doritos.
Bag of Doritos. Which one? Cool Ranch or Nacho?
I'm nacho.
Okay. What about
Maybe
yours?
spicy nacho.
Mac and cheese, baked beans, and ribs, and a little bit of potato salad and cornbread on the side.
Yeah, all the good stuff. I like that. Okay.
man.
If you guys could have any celebrity to be your best friend, who would it be?
Ride wave.
Okay. What about yours?
Tom Brady.
Why Tom Brady?
Because he's to still be playing football at his age.
Do you?
I need to know what he's doing.
Okay. What about the behavior with the iPad? Could you condone that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah.
All right, guys. That is all the time that we have for the questions. Good answers, I'm going to have to say. I was a little bit nervous on asking these, but you guys did great. Play fair, play safe, and have fun in this rivalry. We hope everybody else enjoys this rivalry tonight. Let's join Jim and Dan in the press box right after this.